It's America's longest-running sitcom, and it's 20 years old this year. Shown in over 60 countries and translated into 46 languages, The Simpsons is a TV phenomenon with millions of fans, including A-list celebrities like, what's his name, him, that lady, oh, and the great Ricky Gervais. Oh yeah, Marge, your dreams can come true. Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais. I feel like I could die. The spaceship that is The Simpsons could never have launched without the dilithium crystals that are Hollywood producer, James L. Brooks.
I didn't know him, but I asked Matt Groening to come in because somebody had given me a gift of a cartoon he had done for a newspaper that I thought was hilarious and great.
Matt was sitting at the Gracie Films bungalow waiting for the meeting, and he didn't want to give Fox the rights to his Life in Hell characters, so he just started sketching his family and, named these characters after his family, brought the drawing into Jim, and I'm sure it's worth a considerable fortune, that drawing.
After 20 years of hard graft, they finally let creator Matt Groening out to celebrate the show being honoured at the Cannes TV Festival.
The Simpsons is basically a justification for my completely wasted childhood. I watched every bad TV show there was, and the only way I thought I could justify all of those hours spent sitting in front of the TV was to create my own show. Because that way, it meant that all those years were research.
There were just so many thoughts that had to be amazing for the whole thing to work, and he had them all. And he had them all in a flash.
Wow, is there anything he can't do?
We were making it up as we went along. I mean, it was sort of like, as far as designing the characters, we had so much work to do that it became a question of, well, how are you drawing Bart this week? Well, how are you drawing Homer this week? And looking over each other's shoulders.
Work that body, Homer.
You know, one day you'll learn to move like your old man.
Not if I can help it.
Anyone who says that they thought the show would run 20 years or would become a postage stamp is just lying. I mean, Matt was confident, but nobody was that confident.
I always thought the show would be a success. I was very arrogant, but also naive.
I won't need my high school diploma anymore. I am too smart. I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean S-M-A-R-R-T.
I think we knew we had something when, we got our first cover, and I put it up. It was a cover. The Simpsons had a cover, and I kept it going until it filled the wall.
But I thought the job would last a couple of weeks. I'd animate for a couple of weeks and then go back to my career of illustration. And I was off by about 20 years.
Wow. It's one of the few shows left on American television that I hear people saying they actually sit down with as a family unit together and watch it. Not my family, of course. We're all in separate rooms.
Oh, this sucks. I am out of here.
I know people like Homer and Marge and Bart.
You have to believe them to behold them. I mean, they're really something.
It's taken the traditional kind of family unit and just turned it inside out and upside down.
Get him, boy. Hit those smart-ass books.
Why don't you kick some books, Lisa?
I think The Simpsons is one of the great dysfunctional families in history.
Part of The Simpsons' success is that it's based on a groundbreaking idea. Make a TV show about a family.
Okay, there are 5 members of the Simpsons family. There's Homer.
Go!
Well, to get ready for Homer,
start to drop your IQ about 60, 70 points. 2 plus 2 is 5. Okay, I'm ready. Bum, 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 bum. Do-do-do-do-do-do!
Simpson!
Charge!
He's a dog trapped inside a man's body.
He's got big eyes, and he's a dope.
Where did you get that pie?
Windowsill.
Every time he gets really excited about donuts and drools and stuff, it just makes me giggle.
Well, when Marge is drawn right, she rocks.
Oh, you're sweet.
Marge can get pretty sexy, I have to say. We had shots of her where she's wearing a nightie or nothing, and it's pretty cute.
I rented that negligee you like.
I have no personal sexual attraction to any of the characters, so just for me, because they're cartoons.
Oh, homie, that was amazing.
And that hair. It's a combination of my real mother's hair and, of course, the Bride of Frankenstein. So, yeah, you put them together and Marge Simpson.
Eat my shorts.
I am the Thing from Uranus. I mean, that's just such a brilliant line, and it's for adults, but it's not. It's amazing.
Faster! More dangerous!
Oh, he's the little rascal, and I certainly identify him with my 2 boys.
basically, Bart is Homer Jr. You know that Bart is going to grow up to be Homer. But he's Homer with like a cute spiky haircut. He's charming now because he's 10 years old and he can't be tried as an adult.
Although in reality, Bart is a girl, an adult girl, or a woman.
They were looking for an 8-year-old middle child. It was a girl, and her name was Lisa Simpson. But I saw Lisa, the description of Lisa there, and a little monologue, and sitting next to her also was a picture of Bart. And for Bart, it said 10-year-old, school-hating, underachiever, and proud of it. Now, between 8-year-old middle child and what I just said to you, come on, what would you rather do?
This really hides my thighs. Hello.
So I went blah, 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 blah. That was it, hands down, he hired me on the spot.
No one's happier and more well-adjusted than a stand-up comedian.
Lisa is the intelligent, misunderstood member of the Simpson family. I think a lot of the writers, like myself, relate most to Lisa. We weren't cool like Bart.
Do you even know how lame you are? I should warn you, by using the term lame, you're violating the Americans with Disabilities Act.
I think of all the people in Springfield, she's the only one who's going to escape.
They can't seriously expect us to swallow that tripe.
She provides a lot of the heart of the show.
Wait, Dad, I've got something for you.
I was hoping it'd be money.
And last is the only Simpson in diapers, apart from Grandpa, Maggie.
I love that we've withheld her speaking for so many years, although over the years she's been voiced by Elizabeth Taylor and Jodie Foster and James Earl Jones. That was the weirdest one. You got to put that in.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
I think the biggest laugh would come if we killed off Maggie.
Why are you so cruel?
But the Simpsons aren't the only dysfunctional residents of Springfield. The whole place is full of them.
I like Mr. Burns. Yeah, I relate to Mr. Burns.
Great heavens! It's one of those nude female fire stations.
He's avaricious, malicious, all the issues except delicious.
Excellent.
My favorite character is Smithers because he's just tortured, but he's in love with Mr. Burns, and it's just ridiculous.
I'll print you out a copy.
Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on.
It's okay to hate certain people, like Milhouse. I mean, it's just begging to get his ass kicked.
What's up?
I love Apu. I think Apu is the funniest character. Anything Apu says makes me laugh.
Each of these bullet wounds is a badge of honor.
My favorite character is Mo, because he reminds me of several of my relatives when I was growing up as a kid.
He's angry and sensitive and crazy and weird.
You owe me $70 billion.
Who's my favorite character? What kind of question is that? You're lucky I don't jump out of my seat and strangle you.
Fans love him. Springfield fears him. It's Fat Tony.
My Uncle Willie's voice is like somewhere right down in here. So when Uncle Willie talks, this is what it sounds like. And I brought him to the set one day, and I introduced him to the Simpson people, and he was like, yeah, hi, how are you? And they're all like, oh my God, it's Fat Tony. Who wants to sleep with the fishes? Because I brought this Finding Nemo bedspread.
A show is only as good as its writers, and the Simpsons are the best in Hollywood. They wrote that line for me to say about them being the best.
The writing is genius because they are really, really funny. They're not predictable, and they come up with these weird storylines.
I looked at pictures and video of myself as a kid, and where most kids were pretty happy, I was instantly, before any parents messed me up or anything, I instantly came out like this. You know, like, this world is weird, it's messed up, I don't belong here. And so everything kind of annoys us, and then writing it into the show is a way to kind of get that frustration out.
Lisa, your outburst was either a sign of deep emotional imbalance or a passionate response to a sobering truth. Luckily, the treatment for both is intensive therapy.
It was really the first sort of cartoon type of show that was, not PC.
It's so much fun to write on a show where you really get to say the things you want to say, and you can kind of live and die by your own creative instincts.
Them immigrants, they want all the benefits of living in Springfield, but they ain't even bothered to learn themselves the language.
Yeah, those are exactly my sentimonies.
Once it's a script, it starts a cycle of rewriting at the table. The table being maybe 10 writers sitting around just actively rewriting every line.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever read.
Their first draft is taken and rewritten time and time and time again before we even show it to the cast. And we do that at a Thursday read-through. And, you know, it never fails. There are things that, you know, work as well as I hope, things that do not work as well as I hope, things that work a little better than I hope.
I'm gonna...
On a good day, you hear a lot of laughter coming from that room. On a bad day, it's silence that you know is deadly.
Didn't like that one, huh? The other thing about TV dinners, you don't have leftovers, you have reruns.
If there's only like 2 or 3 people in a room and you pitch a bad joke, it's, well, there's only 2 or 3 people. If there's 22 people and you get dead silent, you know it's a pretty lousy joke. A lot of the writers pitch in character voices because it kind of increases your chance of getting the joke in. So you get a lot of the writers doing their bad impressions of Simpson characters.
I love you all. Mwah, mwah. I use up all of my English.
I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but my first year working on the show, I really would drive home at night practicing the voices by myself in the car. So I'd be driving down like, yeah, I'm Chief Wiggum. And you just feel like a moron.
Welcome to the humiliating world of professional writing.
When the script is complete, it's the job of the actors to bring it to life, or just read it.
I'm the one who almost died.
Just take that with you when you go. Go, 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 go.
Dad, put that down. You don't know what that is.
It's kind of done like old radio in a way, where we're all in a big sound stage. We each have our own music stand in front of us with our script.
They're my daytime regulars. They work the night shift at the nuclear plant.
The Simpsons way of working, where the actors involved in the scene are all together bouncing off of each other, is really the way to work.
And Lisa, if I don't make it back, there's a letter in my locker I want you to read.
We do 4 takes, and we're in at 10 and out by about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Not bad.
After the break...
Burn, Barney, burn!
It's evil! It takes a lot to shock a room full of writers. We were all kind of horrified.
Time's up. Beat it, do-rags.
So, we've had writers
Blah, 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 blah.
and voice talent. But who else is in the office? The office.
My name is Alf Clausen, and I am the composer and the songwriter of the original songs on The Simpsons, and I have been here for 19 seasons. From day one, I have been afforded the luxury of having 35 musicians in my orchestra. They're made up of the best studio musicians in Los Angeles, and they bring all of my music to life, and it's a fabulous thrill. We usually have a lot more fun than this. Music has become almost like another actor in character. I think it brings an added depth to the series that one wouldn't have without it. I'm very pleased to be a part of that.
Whee! I'm a pop sensation.
With the voice recording done, the animators take over. To finish an episode, it takes approximately 9 months. That's the same amount of time to make a baby or serve a prison sentence for something small, like shoplifting or serious fraud if you're posh.
My name's Mike Anderson, and I'm the supervising director of The Simpsons currently. And I'm the big cheese. I run the show.
I am a god. I know all.
In a live action, I'd say, okay, stand there, say your line, move over there, the camera will pan with you, and then we'll zoom in. On the show, I tell them, draw somebody standing over there, and then draw them walking over here, and then truck in on them. So it's the same thing. You tell a story. That's, if I disapprove of a drawing or it needs some revisions or I'm unhappy, people know because they hear this sound. It's totally obnoxious. Let's go see some of the people working on the show.
This is our comic strip department.
This is part of the maze that is the Simpson factory. These are posters. People hang them up so that artists on their free time, which they never have, can draw little doodles and they can send these off to their families. This is storyboard row, these storyboard artists working in here. And here's one of my favorite, Brad Abelson.
Hello.
He's mostly, when we met Brad, he was just a little kid obsessed with butt jokes. Now he's a premier Simpson storyboard artist.
Still obsessed with butt jokes.
My butt bone's stronger than ever. Ta-da!
My job as a storyboard artist is to take the written script, I read it, I turn on the little TV in my brain, picture The Simpsons, which I've seen, you know, my whole life, and try and get that image on that TV from my brain to the computer screen as quickly as I can. And I'm coming up with the camera angles and the rough staging and the rough acting, you know, and I kind of just plot out the whole show that way. So it looks a lot like a comic strip like you'd see in the Sunday newspaper. But this becomes a blueprint for the whole show, and everybody else is able to sort of refer to this. And then the next person who's going to get this is the designers.
Much of what a character designer has to do would be to take an existing character. In this case, it'd be Homer. In the episode, they might be seen in a different way. For instance, in this particular episode, he's seen wearing a towel, and the direction is that he had his fat spilling over the towel. One of the goals we have is to make the design funny, or to imbue it with some kind of personality, so it will make people laugh, and it'll make the animators laugh as they're working with it.
Oh, who's doing that?
I remember once in the animation there was a drawing that came in. It was Santa's little helper had gotten a girlfriend, and they met at the racetrack, and the animators had the two dogs kind of getting to know each other, if you will, and a little bit too graphically for television. And when we first saw it, it takes a lot to shock a room full of writers. We were all kind of horrified.
I didn't know dogs really did that.
Those little moments, you know, pop up here and there. I don't know where those things wind up eventually.
As well as shocking the writers, the animator's other job is to bring the 2D characters to life.
What my job is actually start acting it and start fleshing out all the acting, getting the details right, and make sure they look exactly as people know them. Well, right now I'm fleshing out the action between two poses. Instead of flipping actual paper back and forth, I can just toggle back and forth and see the action. And then I can come back here and actually play the scene.
This helicopter is taking off! Who's with me?
What I do here is take the artist's rough drawings and assemble it to the audio recorded tracks, and what we do is see a rough cartoon, and then we work with directors to refine the actions, and what we'll do is get 3 or 4 panels, rough drawings for a scene, and we'll just make it move to the dialogue.
Why, you little dog! Burn, party, burn!
Later down the line, it gets colored by the color department, which is run by Karen Bauer.
Hey, Mike.
One of the most extraordinary. I knew her when she just was clutching a salmon crayon, and now she runs the biggest show in the world.
Back in the day, when we painted the cells, we would take these layouts and we'd assign a little number to every little space that needed paint. Take this information and paint the backgrounds on the back of the cell. Can you believe we had to paint all the changes? We had to have someone upstairs paint a change. And now it's just the flick of the switch and, you know, there we go. So if there is a problem, we can get to a solution faster, you know? So I love working on the computer compared to how we used to do it. I mean, my job is coloring, like a coloring book. I think it's really kind of hard to work with yellow people. I mean, yellow being a primary color, we can't use it in all the other shots, you know, so try to like do a whole show without using yellow because you need those characters that stand out. It's kind of challenging.
And our kids, they'll be horrible freaks with pink skin, no overbites, and 5 fingers on each hand.
The original colorist, Georgia Pelusi, made one of the biggest decisions on the show, to color The Simpsons yellow.
Georgie had such a very colorful palette, you know, green carpets and pink walls. But also, you see, Bart and Maggie and Lisa, they don't have a hairline. So you don't want to add a hairline to it because that would break up the design. And if you made them flesh, well, what is their hair? It's sort of like weird lumps of flesh. But the yellow you sort of buy is hair.
Wherever you flip on the dial, when you see The Simpsons, you immediately go, hey, there it is. And I can't imagine them any other color. It also is interesting. It makes them sort of multi-ethnic. I mean, they're not really any, particular race. They're their own individual thing. And I actually feel that's a part of the reason for the global appeal of the show.
What if Homer and the characters were purple and the backgrounds were yellow? And that's more of the land of Itchy and Scratchy land. So that's kind of interesting.
Because it's an animated show, in the Simpsons world, anything is possible, like time travel, altering the laws of physics, eating in space, becoming president,
My fellow Americans!
or even reaping grimly.
Okay, who am I giving a finger to today? Not this!